what Workshop Wednesday is all about, is that casual conversation, serious workflows. We're still getting used to the new platform here of ways to how we're doing things. Hopefully, sorry for the delay in the alert. I literally got in 1 minute before I went live, and we like to have the 15-minute chill coffee music video countdown, but didn't have that today. So we'll see what this recording looks like. I'm actually recording it this time. This is a rerun. Rachel wasn't here. I think you were in Colorado for Houston 7 partner conference. So I again forgot to hit record on that session, and we had a really lively, good session and we were talking about the new. So what we're doing is we're going through the different CRM-ish features that are new in QuickBooks Online, right? So we talked about the leads and connecting your Gmail or Outlook email into QuickBooks, where it can start to read your emails and assign a temperature to potential needs, and shows up as opportunities and those types of things. And we did a session on the contracts, and so we want to talk about that because I forgot to record it. So, so Rachel, I think you used the contracts feature in the past, and have you continued to use it, or have you?
I have used it. I actually really like it. I like that it's built into QuickBooks Online. The only thing that I didn't care for is that I couldn't split with sending it to 2 signers like I can do with, I don't know, any other.
That's what we discovered a couple weeks ago, is that you actually can now.
Oh, woo. Yeah, I was just going to say, and who knows, maybe that's different by now because things change. So if you can do that now, I'm all for it. I think it's awesome.
Just going to share my screen here, and you should be able to see this. Let me know if you can. See in Quicks. Okay, perfect. So if you go into the customer hubs, the customer hub now is, I believe it's Plus and Advanced, and of course it's going to be in Intuit Enterprise Suite. But here's this option in here called Contracts, and I'm going to just kind of comb through the different functions and features of it, and we'll talk about the limitation that you discovered. All right, come on now. Spinning wheel of death here. Let me refresh. That seems to be the par for the course here for QuickBooks. I think it's having some challenges or latency. That's what I've been seeing on the interwebs.
Oh, see, I love that you've got all your NDAs in there like that. That's you know what? I should just do them all in QBO now.
Yeah. So you have an option here to create a contract, and then you also have up here all of your contracts and then contract templates. So that means that you can create a template. So let's just kind of go through the create contract. The first thing is to upload a document. Of course, if you already have a PDF, or if you already have this set up as a template, you can use either of those two things. You either upload a PDF or use a template. So I'm just going to choose upload a template. I don't know if you can see my Mac screen because I only chose to do this, but let's see here. Where is the NDA? Because we're doing a beta on the what do I call it? The migration readiness inspector. So I've been testing this out using QuickBooks to see how well this works, right? What it does is you just upload the PDF document once you've prepared it. You do have this option here to create a new project automatically when the contract is signed. I haven't tried it yet, because I don't know what it actually will do, but I believe all it will do is it will just create a project for the customer. So a sub customer, but as a project, so that you have the project dashboard that you can utilize. So I'm going to uncheck that for the time being. And then here down in the receipt is where you can set the signing order, right? So like I will,
Ooh, neat.
right? And then you can select the customer. And then if you needed to add another signer, right? So you can add multiple signers. How many does it do? I'm wondering.
Wow, that's a lot.
Maximum
5.
of 5. There we go.
I mean, it looks like if you don't want them to be a customer yet too, you can do it as a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you have your option in there. And then you also have this option for an authentication, right? So basically, if you don't want an unintended person to sign the contract, you can associate an access code which they'll have to enter in order to access this document.
Wow.
And it says, don't use this if the documents have personal or confidential information or in the important contract to your business. That's if you use no authentication. Share this code with the client in order to enter the code and then sign the documents. Yeah, so that's your choice to do that.
That's
of course,
pretty cool. Okay, Intuit, I'm listening now.
there's less friction, right?
Yeah.
With no authentication, right? Because what they will happen, and Sarah is actually a recipient of of one of these contracts that I sent out this way, so she could speak to the experience of what it was like as far as signing is concerned. But let me get rid of these extra. There we go. Remove your signer here because we don't need 6 or 5 people, right? And you have this option here. I will sign last, right? So it'll go around to all of the signers. They'll sign it, and then you can change the order. And then if you're the one that's going to finalize it, you can do that. So the next thing, so it looks like it's coming to me from me. It doesn't like that. Choose. Nope. Just choose somebody. Won't actually send it out, right? So then we have the PDF is in here. And then you have, of course, then in the PDF or the document that you're putting in there has to have these signature lines already created. It's not going to create them for you. But what it's going to do is you have this drop down over here to add the fields for, and then you just click and then drag the signature. So this is for the person, right? And that'll go in there. If you need initials for them to initial someplace, like if up on page 2, you need to make sure that they acknowledge something, you can drag an initial spot in there, not, or you can trash it if you want. And then text. Yeah, so in this case, the print name, they would have to type in their name and then the signing date. And then you flip it over to yourself and then do the same thing. And then at this point, it's going to ask you to sign it, right? So I have to perfectly
This is all very standard stuff when you're using one of these apps.
Yeah. So then I'm going to put in my text. And then here, I actually can type in here and type something in. So this would be my printed name and my title, and then the signing date. Because it's for me, it already puts the date in there, and that's that. So then you can preview it if you want, what it would look like. Oh, apparently it wants me to type something in there. You put a field in there that's supposed to be in there, then it's got to have something in there. Can't leave it blank. What happened there? What happens when you type without looking? And then next, then we have message, right, that you can customize so that this can be however you want it to look. And then you can put in some reminders, right? So you can have reminder to send a reminder every day if you want.
Yeah.
Or any kind of interval that you want to have on the reminder if it goes unsigned. And then if you want it to expire, this will have an expiration. And then when do you want that expiration email to go out? Maybe it's 3 days before it expires. And then it would send. Now, I'm not going to send it because I don't want to send this to Andy. We cancel out of that.
You can send it to me.
And then the other option is creating a template, right? So here you can just upload the document and you can preset in the who will be signing, adding in your message if you want to, and then this will also give you, I thought it would give you the variables of what you could use in there. So like for client name, I thought I saw that before, but I guess something else that I'm thinking of with what kind of variables. So if you wanted to use their first name and address them in that, just put it in brackets, first name, and then it would put that in the email message, or that's because it's a template. I was thinking it through. You can just type it in there, but if this is a template, you don't want to have specific names because you don't want the message to always go say, "Hey, Andy."
Oh, so all you have to do is put the brackets and it'll pull in the whatever client you're doing it in.
Yeah. Oh. I was hoping to get like a list of all of the variables utilized, but it would be something like company name and client name.
Yeah.
First name, last name, date,
email address, maybe.
And then just add that template into the template, the reminder preference, and the expiration request, right? So you can save this as a template. So if you have various different engagements, right? So maybe you have a monthly bookkeeping engagement, or maybe you have an implementation engagement, or different types of engagements that would require something to be signed. You can set those up ahead of time. Now, one thing that I didn't see other than it creating a project is this is a standalone feature, right? So it's not going to, you can't trigger an automatic sending of a contract, nor can you have it do other things once the contract is signed here inside of QuickBooks. But as it's astutely saying, it's in beta, which is basically their QuickBooks code for it might not work. But
wait, are you saying that like potentially in like the what's it called? The automation section or whatever it is? Like you can maybe set up or work or whatever it's called, workflow automations.
Yeah.
You could set up once the contract is signed, create this, do this.
That's what I imagine that it might be able to do eventually. I'm trying to think of the use cases off the top of my head, like what typically happens. What's the next step once something is signed? Does it do things, right? Like if I'm doing conversion, for example, and I need a Google Drive created and an email sent to them, it doesn't do that sort of thing. It's only contained within the contract section, right? But I think from the point at which you used it, which was, Rachel, it was like maybe a month ago, right? And that was your critique of it. It was like, hey, it only allowed you to do one signer.
Yeah.
The things that they've added since then seem to address a lot of those concerns. What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, I am in a situation where I prepaid the whole year for whatever else I'm using. And I always do that because I always think it's a better deal, but then I'm locked into it. But I would love to, once that year is up and I'm not using it anymore, sign well. And I literally am using it because I do an NDA now before I even look in their QBO. And I always need to look in it before I give any kind of quote. And so now we have a whole process where we send the NDA, then they approve it. I would much rather do it originating from QBO. Maybe not necessarily the engagement contract that I'm sending from Anchor, but for this, to just the NDA to be able to look at their books, I would love to send it from here.
Yeah. Discovery or diagnostic, pay diagnostic.
Exactly. Because before this, and also is like before I even really knew or realized or whatever, there's a couple of years there in the beginning where I would just be like, oh, hey, just invite me into your QuickBooks so I can just take a look. And it was always this weird, awkward thing. And now I protect myself by having an NDA, but I don't want to get accused of anything. But now, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why I would want that. But I just love this streamlined. Don't invite me in there until I've sent this.
Yeah. And I'm just taking a look at customer to see if it is an attachment that's already, once it's signed.
Oh, that's such a good question from Sarah.
Enable them to attach a doc or an image. Oh, to gather ACH authorizations. Yeah, I believe you could, right? Because it is just putting in text fields.
Yeah.
You could. Somebody is calling me. Yeah, let's see. I don't see that it's added the contract to the customer itself. Sarah, actually, I'm looking at yours in here. But yeah, I don't see anywhere, like I'm editing the customer in QuickBooks and I don't see any attachments in the notes or attachments section. So I would have to go back to the contract area in order to see the signed contract or send it back to them. Oh, by the way, you initialed this or something like that. But yeah, as long as I don't know that there's a limit on the text fields, right? So if you wanted to send an ACH authorization form this way, you certainly could. And you certainly, as long as there's a blank space and you could have them type in there something, then it's a way to have those on hand. I know somebody on Facebook was asking about getting those ACH forms, how to do that, and this would actually be a great way to do that, to send that right out of QuickBooks. It can remind them, hey, you haven't done this, and it would avoid an image of the check. Okay, that's a good call out. So it can't have that attach that. So it would need to be some kind of request to do that. But yeah, I don't think they can upload, but as long as they can type in there, the text field, initials, and signatures are the wild characters. Right? And the same, we do that in Foxit. If we can create an image where you can add the fields, it should work. So now that I've recorded this session, I can actually repurpose it now inside the school bookkeeping contact and their CRM-ish. I did make a article, which I want to give that available here. So let me just go in and I'll put it in the chat about those new CRM-ish features inside of QuickBooks, and it's blank. So I'll have to do it later because I've got 14,000 tabs open, and that's probably taking some of my bandwidth on my thing. So next time on the workshop, our next topic, getting back to normal, our normal cycle here. Let's see, where are we at here? We'll be talking about the QuickBooks Business Network. So that is it's a tough sell, I think.
Yeah, I'm not hearing a lot of people excited about that.
Yeah, it's got some neatness to it, but with all of the, I don't know what's a nice way to say it, Rachel.
I don't know, but you know what? One time somebody tried to add me on it or something like that, and it was really confusing. They couldn't figure out how to do it, and then maybe I didn't get the notification, or I don't know what it was, but it wasn't very intuitive. Now, again, maybe it's completely changed.
Yeah.
It very well could be. Not sure.
So we'll unpack the QBN, the QuickBooks Business Network, next time on the workshop. And hopefully everybody has a great week, and we'll see you next time.